Alrighty, folks, welcome into another episode of Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, January 6th, and the 2025 NFL season, regular season, has officially hit its end in the most tragic way possible for our guy Iman over here. His Ravens had to get walked off in the worst way possible with the missed field goal after the Steelers missed a field goal, but what a hell of a game with insane implications to end the NFL season there. But my goodness, I wanted to get the pulse check and just the mental health check on you. How we doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm still about my money and I'm still about my biz, but we're going to Cancun on 3, Cancun on me. There it is, because goodness grief, man. And that was me getting too hyped last week. I put the jersey on. I put the hat on. I was just getting too hyped, knowing my fate was coming. I knew it all year, but, and I feel bad for the kicker, man. He's a rookie. He shouldn't have been put in that predicament, and I'll elaborate on that later on because I just think like that's a bullshit predicament that he was in to have to make that. And, because I'm going to get on Justin Tucker's ass. If he wouldn't have been in the massage parlors getting freaky, deaky, you would have never seen Justin Tucker miss that field goal. So he's part of the reason too. If I find your ass in Baltimore, I'm gonna get you. But hey, I guess I'm gonna take my juju over to Green Bay to give you some bad luck. So you can be home.
Hey, what the hell's that about? Hey,
so you can be in Cancun with us because I think it's me now. I really think it's me. So I'm rooting for Green Bay now.
I'm gonna need you to carry your ass over to Chicago then, sir. Keep that garbage off of my team. Let us at least get the rubber match on the Bears. Look, I mean, hey, we'll get into the playoffs. Good episode. We got the top 10 and 10. We're gonna go through the whole playoffs as all the matchups are set. We're gonna work our way to each of us finding our Super Bowl champion. We're gonna go through the head coaching carousel because obviously NFL, there's usually 5 head coaching changes like a year. We're already at 5. Like instantly, there's 5 vacancies, or there's been 5 moves, something like that, where it's like we're already at what normally happens in a given offseason. So a lot of things coming up, but hey, the Brewers and the Cubs for the first time ever faced off in the playoffs, and the Brewers won that series. So now with the Packers and the Bears rubber match in the playoffs, I'm gonna need to see that same type of result, and from there, could give a shit what happens. We'll have a Super Bowl, but if I'm being honest and I'm being realistic, that probably not in the cards for the old Go Pack Go this season. As much as I'm gonna keep hoping and praying and fooling myself into thinking that is, but hey, let's crack into it. The top 10 and 10, you know what it is on a Tuesday. Number 1, as we already talked about, that AFC North gets decided, the last game of the season gets decided off of 2 missed field goals after that epic late back and forth. I can only imagine what you were like sitting in your chair watching that one, man. But the game came down to the Steelers needing a game-winning drive. Rodgers goes down there and delivers, gets a wide open pass on, the Ravens guy, maybe tripping on himself a little bit, something like that. But then Chris Boswell goes out and misses his first PAT in, I think it was 4 years, to keep it a 2-point game. So here come the Ravens. They get the big kick return from Keaton Mitchell to put them in beautiful, pristine field position. They need about 15 yards to get into field goal range. They get it off of that 4th down. Lamar Jackson delivers to Isaiah Likely, who climbs the ladder. What a hell of a catch from Likely to get the conversion. And then all they need is rookie Tyler Loop to hit the game-winning field goal, and he sails that puppy far right. And the season ends for the Ravens, and Aaron Rodgers is back in the playoffs for the first time in almost 5 years. It's been a while for the old man, but he is back in the playoffs. That was a game of, hey, this drive, it's Tomlin getting fired. Next drive, it's Harbaugh getting fired. This drive, Tomlin. That drive, Harbaugh. And then it turns out Tomlin might be saving his job. Who knows? What's next?
Hey, Cleveland are jumping for joy. The people in Cleveland jumping for joy. Finally, Kevin Stefanski is gone after 6 years. It is about time. In 6 years, 45 and 56, subpar record. You wasn't good. I don't care about the 2 years that you won Coach of the Year. They handed those to you. Your postseason record is 1-2. I mean, and what a shit show this year, from the draft onto who you started, who you didn't start, getting reps for a guy who probably was the better quarterback, and just the play calling, just dog water. So finally, Kevin Stefanski is gone out of Cleveland, but I will not be surprised if he pick up and land one of these vacant jobs that's out there, because everybody thinks he's a good offensive guy. I don't know where they see that at, but finally, Cleveland is free. But now you better go get your offensive guy. If Shador is your man, you better go get your offensive guy, and we'll see in the future who's the next coach in Cleveland. But bye-bye, Kevin Stefanski.
He gone. Oh, pink slip big time. All right, keeping on the guys who are getting cleaned out. The Falcons, they clear house. They get rid of GM Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris after their season was a letdown. Owner Arthur Blank then goes out and creates a new president of football operations role to lead the coach and GM searches. And right off the jump, it appears that reports that 2016 MVP Matt Ryan, now the CBS analyst, is the front runner for that job to rejoin his Atlanta Falcons, where he obviously, had a great run there, historic run for them, one of maybe their best quarterback ever, him, Vic, maybe. But so it seems like the Falcons are on a whole new trajectory. You probably could have seen this one coming after Fontenot. There was a clip that got released, him and Arthur Blank in the draft room after they took Michael Penix fresh off of signing Kirk Cousins to a massive deal. And you see Fontenot trying to explain the pick to Arthur Blank. And now it kind of makes sense that this one was kind of doomed from the start, as much as I liked Penix, and clearly I was wrong there. But part of the coaching carousel, that one got ticked up. People thought he might keep his job with how the season ended for the Falcons. But no, sir, he gone. What's next?
As we pull that head out of the guillotine, guess who's coming in there? Jonathan Gannon. Guillotine dropped on his head after 3 seasons. Jonathan Gannon is fired in Arizona. 3 seasons, 15-36 now. The one thing I can say, after his first year, he went 4-13. We thought he was trending in the right direction because his second year coaching went at 8-9. And we was like, man, he's bringing back talent. He has his franchise quarterback. But somehow, some way, he could not get Kyler Murray to buy into what he had going on. This year, he finished at 3-14, and it just wasn't good enough. Even though I thought he was putting some good games together, just losing by small margins early in the year. But yeah, Jonathan Gannon, you're going back to being a DC somehow, somewhere, because I think your head coaching career is over. So goodness grief, all these heads is rolling. I've never seen a day like this when it comes to head coaching. And granted, it's usually slow, but goodness grief, these heads is getting chopped off and rolling uphill with this thing. Arizona, Jonathan Gannon, pink slip, you're gone.
Well, let's keep the heads rolling because another one enters the guillotine. Now it's Pete Carroll. We all saw this one coming, though. Next up, Pete Carroll. He gets canned from the Raiders after he gets this offseason, got the 3-year contract, and now he's gone after 1 year. They are ending with the first overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Because of it, the offense was terrible. They had no pass catchers. They traded Jacoby Myers, the quarterback, banking on Geno Smith and Pete Carroll to run back into some type of vintage Seahawks form that was there for 2 seasons was not a recipe for success. And this thing, man, for the Raiders, ever since they moved to Vegas, has just been a mess at coach. Since John Gruden resigned in 2021, the Raiders have already gone through 3 coaches to kickstart their tenure in Las Vegas. And this one is just, again, they're so far away. This team is so far away. They've kind of rebuilt the offensive line. Obviously, they got Bowers, they got Genty. They have some talent. Eric Stokes was a nice contributor coming in for his first year, but boy, oh boy, do they just need to get the head coaching right. They're never going to get back on track if they are keeping rotating out head coaches at the rate that they're churning out coaches right now. So, hey, heads are rolling there. Pete Carroll, you're gone. We got another one, or are we on to something else at this point?
Listen, he's not in it, but he's standing on his steps, about to get walked up soon. Mr. Aaron Glenn, I don't know how you dodged that guillotine, but you dodged it. But Aaron Glenn, what a awful job you did this year. I don't care what nobody say. You should be getting fired, because listen to this. A guy who was an NFL cornerback, a guy who was a A1 defensive coordinator in Detroit, became a head coach and had donut interceptions this year from his team. How is that possible? You're a DB. You should be the best DB coach in the world because that's what you played in the NFL. Not only that, you let all-pro cornerback out the door. You let other, not all pros, but good DBs not on the team. Listen, Aaron Glenn, I'm telling you, you got to Thanksgiving next year before your ass is on this stage and they're cleaning that inside out to put yours in there. You cannot do this again this year. I'm wondering if they're going to go try to get a quarterback in the draft or try to get somebody that's on the team because he's going to need a quarterback and he's going to need about 10 other players. So we'll see how far he go last year. But Aaron Glenn, next year, if nothing else speaks for you, your defensive backs better speak for you next year. 0 interceptions. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's pathetic. And next up, Myles Garrett, he finishes the season. He gets it. He gets the all-time single-season sack record, getting number 23 in the final weeks of the season, bringing down Joe Burrow to get it. Again, it took him to the final week of an expanded schedule, so everyone's out. You know, there's a bunch of Steelers fans out there being like, oh, well, TJ Watt still had the better season because he had the 22.5. Him and Strahan both got it in the 17-game season. And look, while TJ Watt, I'll give him it, he did accomplish his on fewer pass rush snaps, and that matters. Total snaps doesn't matter. Pass rush snaps matters. Because TJ Watt, he's more of a linebacker. He goes in coverage a bit more. He got on fewer pass rush snaps, but Garrett was double-teamed at a higher rate. He had a higher pass rush win rate, and he had a better pressure rate. So no matter what, his season was nothing short of historically dominant. He is the resident alien in Cleveland. He's still an absolute freak. And it's a damn shame he chose that bag in Cleveland instead of going to get paid slightly less generational money somewhere else who's even somewhat better of a contender, because if he's on a club that's at least 500, man, he's probably a top 3 to 4 MVP candidate this season with the year he just had. Say what you will about his run defense, it's still better than most guys. And from a legacy perspective, man, taking that bag in Cleveland is just 23 sacks or not. You're doing it with a 5-12 ball club that's just going to kind of get forgotten about. Not like it's a great defense or nothing, but man, what's next?
Hey, ATL is saying bye to Trae Young. Finally, they're putting them talks and trades. I'm hearing the Wizards. I would love for him to come to Houston. Now, I know he's a volume shooter, but we need a point guard who can distribute. So in 8 years, Trae Young had 3 playoff appearances. 2021, you know, they had their run to the Eastern Conference Finals where he was lighting it up every night. 2022, they got put out first round. In 2023, they got put out in first round too. But this year, his points has declined. His field goal percentage has declined. And the one thing that he's supposed to be A1 at, 3-point percentage, has really took a hit this year. Maybe the emergence of Jalen Johnson is making them feel like, hey, we might not need you anymore. We got a superstar in Johnson. We brought in N.A. Walker, Nicholas Alexander Walker from Minnesota last year, who was playing lights out. So maybe they figure like, we can get it done without you. But hey, like I said, Atlanta will be trading him by the end of this week, but I hope he can land in Houston. And I don't care what we got to give up to get him. I'm being honest. I just pair him with KD and Sagun, and I'm okay. They can have everybody else. I'm telling you, they can have everybody else draft picks. Bring him in Houston. We'll take him, and championship is on our way.
Hey, right now, it's a great guy, too. Right now, he's 3rd all-time in assists per game behind Magic and Stockton. So that's the distributor you need for those boys. It wouldn't be a bad move, so I agree. Hey, let's kick it back to the NFL really quick because I switched some stuff up on an Iman last minute. That's my bad. Because I got to mention, we talked about Josh Allen a lot on this show, and now he is set for a no-excuses playoffs with no Lamar, no Joe Burrow, and no Mr. Kryptonite Patrick Mahomes in his way. So this is the time to nut up or shut up for Allen. Obviously, with the season ending and them losing the division and handing it back over to the Patriots, they become the first team to ever have 5 straight divisional championships without making a Super Bowl appearance. Now there's no kryptonite in your way. And I know the pass game has sucked. And I know that Bills team has really just relied on Josh Allen and James Cook, and the defense has got better. But look, this is a wide open AFC. It's the Jaguars, it's the Texans, it's the Patriots that you're going to pretty much have to get through if you're Josh Allen. Those are 3 teams you should be able to beat at his caliber of quarterbacking. He will be the best quarterback in every single game he plays in the postseason, no matter which team he gets paired up with in any given week. And the Bills need it. That Super Bowl window is closing rapidly. This is officially the no excuses playoffs for Josh Allen. What is next?
Hey, last but not least, 10, y'all know I am a big NCAA women college basketball guy. And this week, 3 undefeated teams went down: LSU, Maryland, and my girl, Audi Crooks and the Iowa State Cyclones went down to Baylor at the nose. So now we only have 2 teams left, which is the great UConn Huskies and Texas Longhorn, with Madison Brook leading them and Sarah Strong leading UConn. But man, Audi, I felt bad for you. I was rooting for you to go undefeated all year because you just been so dominant all year. But I was mad. 3 of my undefeated and my hometown team went down. Maryland Terrapins. Our girls team was undefeated, so I was kind of disappointed in that. But we'll see if these 2 teams can last the rest of the year, undefeated, UConn and Texas. And then we'll get into the tournament and see who's going to win. But, yeah, Audi Crooks, Iowa State, Maryland, we went down this weekend. I'm sorry. But, hey, we're still in the top 10, so we'll take it.
Yep. Look, and there it is, top 10. And every time Audi Crooks comes on my timeline on Twitter, she's got like 35 points. She's putting up wicked numbers. This girl can ball.
Baller.
She's a fucking hooper,
Baller.
man.
Baller.
She's so nice. And I'm always just stuck there for at least 5 minutes watching Audi Crooks highlights. She is really damn good. So, hats off to her. She keeps balling, man. I wonder what she goes. I mean, I don't know shit about the WNBA drafting stuff and that cycle, but
she's gonna go low. They don't like. She needs to lose a little weight because they're gonna, in the WNBA,
stamina will be a problem.
Yeah, you got to be able to run, but she's wide. She's gonna be a player on the block because she's just fundamentally sound. Got soft hands. She catches everything that come in. I think she'll be top 20, but I don't think she'll be top 10 lottery. She'll be top 20. Somebody that needs a backup big. But yes, I don't think she's generational.
But she's got to be. Would you say? I mean, you watch this stuff more than me. Where would you say she's one of the more pure shooters in women's college basketball right now? Because to me, it seems like she's got to be one of the more pure, efficient shooters in the entire thing.
I mean, she's definitely got a soft and natural shot. Yeah, she has the whole offensive game. I just think she's going to be a liability on defense that she has to work on, kind of losing a little weight, being a little bit more active. But, I mean, offensive game, I don't see one small negative. Her offensive game is so elite. I mean, elite. So, we'll see. But, yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm just a big fan of her. I'm not lying.
She's good.
Fan.
Yeah. She's good. Real quick, before we really get into the show, one thing I want to come back to before we dive in is the Jets thing with Aaron Glenn. It seems like his job is, and I'm 100% with you. He's got till Thanksgiving to prove his shit don't stink the way it kind of stank this year. And I think it's less of a. Aaron Glenn was obviously a problem this year. The defense took a step back. I remember the Jets defense was really, really good these past couple seasons, and you're expecting with Aaron Glenn coming in, it's going to take another step. And obviously you trade Quinnen Williams. Obviously you trade Sauce Gardner. Before the season, you get rid of Michael Carter. Before the season, you get rid of DJ Reed. You emptied out this cornerback room. You left it pretty much just Sauce Gardner, and they didn't really fill it in. That's not Aaron Glenn's fault. He's not the guy who's out there constructing the roster. He might have a say here and there. But, Woody Johnson, that front office, man, they really did him dirty. Defensively, obviously they had some players underperform. Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner were both not playing to their normal all-pro levels, and then they both get traded midway through the season. And, Quinnen Williams goes to Dallas, and he looks better. Sauce Gardner goes to the Colts, and he instantly gets hurt, so who knows there? I mean, Sauce Gardner, I think he went 1-6 with both teams this year with the Colts and the Jets. What a brutal season for Sauce that this was. But they didn't do him any help, and anyone with a set of eyes could have told you that going into the season with Justin Fields as your starting quarterback, you were bound to fail. It was bound to go to shit real quick. And before you know it, Tyrod Taylor stepping in to lead them at quarterback. So I think as much as it wasn't good for the Jets on both sides of the ball, They gave him Justin freaking Fields at quarterback. That's your first problem.
But he handpicked him though. He brought Aaron in to tell Aaron, sorry,
That's
we
right.
don't need you. That was Aaron Glenn who did that.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. And that was fucking egregious. Jail, first of all, for that move. Jail.
Also, do you think he didn't have a say in getting rid of an all-pro cornerback midseason? You gotta know the head coach probably didn't mesh well because Aaron Glenn is this tough guy, so he probably didn't mesh well because Sauce Gardner is just kind of like a chill, kind of Gen Z type, and he probably just didn't mesh, thought he played lazy. I think Aaron Glenn okayed both of those with both of them, make him look like a bad coach because there's no way you look at an old Aaron Rodgers and say Justin Fields. That's just me. But who am I? Who am I?
Well, I mean, it's something we can get into in our first segment with kind of some of the storylines. But Aaron Rodgers fulfilled his duties with the Steelers. It wasn't beautiful, it wasn't perfect, but guess what? I'm sorry, I know he beat your Ravens, but you know what? What did he do? He came in the biggest moment of the season against his divisional rivals with the playoffs and the whole season on the line. And what did he do? He got another game-winning drive and set the Steelers up to go out and win. Obviously, the Steelers' defense kind of shit the bed and it came down to the missed field goal. But Rodgers came in and fulfilled what he had to do. It was efficient all season. He had a couple Aaron freaking Rodgers throws, a couple vintage moments, and he just worked really efficiently in an Arthur Smith offense that was super tight end heavy. It just kind of worked. And so he fulfilled that bet that the Steelers took on him, whereas the Jets, man, I mean, obviously, I think when they lost Braylon Allen, backup running back to Breece Hall, and then like all season, like, well, are they going to trade Breece Hall? All season, are they going to trade Garrett Wilson? There is no like subtleness with this Jets team, per usual. No subtleness with the Jets team, and it got till Thanksgiving next year. I think we can leave it on that. He's got till Thanksgiving next year. So why don't we do this now? That, again, because the 2025 regular season is wrapped up, playoffs are set. The first 18 picks in the draft are officially set with the Raiders at number 1. Let's do a little fantasy draft here of the biggest storylines from the 2025 NFL season. We'll go back and forth. I'll even be generous and let you pick your favorite number 1, what you thought was the, whether it got talked about a lot, whether it's something we know now that the season is over. Whatever it is, your favorite storyline from this season, your favorite moment, favorite whatever, I'll let you pick one, and we're going to go get our top 3 storylines, narratives, whatever it is, each in this year's fantasy draft from storylines of the 2025 season. Iman, why don't you go first? What you got?
My biggest shock is the Chiefs dynasty falling. My favorite word online last year when I did picking games every week, never bet against Patrick Mahomes. I couldn't have guessed that in a million years. Nope. They were out of the playoffs before he got hurt. Let's be clear. They were playing the worst they've ever played. So I couldn't have bet in a million years that Patrick Mahomes would never make the playoff. Andy Reid would never make the playoff. That was the biggest shocker to me because to me, Patrick's been the best quarterback in our league the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. No ifs and buts about it. So to see that dynasty fall was kind of heartbreaking, but just a small window for somebody else to come in and grab that light. Because, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL. I don't care what nobody say. He's the face of the NFL, and I think we're going to have a new face this year. Hopefully the one person that I hope, not going to pray, I hope he grab it because I think we'll be in good space if he grab it. But, yeah, that's the first one. Couldn't and listen, but hold on. This is going to be a good prediction. But listen to me because I be on point. I'm like 103. The Chiefs won't make the playoffs ever again with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you sure about that?
He'll be traded before they make the playoffs.
Oh, want to say that again in the mic?
They will not make the playoffs as long as Patrick Mahomes is their starting quarterback. He'll be traded before the Chiefs can get back to the playoffs.
Wow. So you don't think that they're going to take Patrick Mahomes over to the Kansas when they move to Kansas in 2031? You don't think? You don't think? Wow.
He's going to be done because he's not going to be back probably to midseason next year. They're going to be bad then. Well, trust me. Just listen to me. All right now, y'all. Listen to me now. They will never make the playoffs again with Patrick Mahomes as their starting quarterback.
I wasn't ready for that. I mean, I think you picked the right narrative to go 1-1 in this draft, but hey, the only thing I'll say to counteract that one is, and because this one's always, it is what it is. It's just because it happens to one person doesn't mean it'll happen to another. But Tom Brady tore his ACL after his 9th season. So did Mahomes. And Tom Brady tore his ACL after 3 Super Bowls. So did Mahomes. Tom Brady came back and ran up Patriots Dynasty 2.0, and that seems to be that could be in the cards as long. Andy Reid, who knows? It sounds like Nagy is back on the coaching market, which I apologize to the team who makes that mistake. But, this season was weird for the Chiefs. Just to really wrap it up here on that one, they start 5-3. They finish 1-8. Obviously, Mahomes with the ACL tear, and then their season ends with a loss to the first overall pick in the draft, Raiders, and the news that they're moving to Kansas in 2031. So just a weird season for the Chiefs. They never got going. They never found any rhythm. The Spagnuolo defense was not as dominant as it has been in past seasons, and the offense just never caught stride. Weird season, really weird season. So that's a hell of a 1-1. For me, I'm going to go with my 1-1. The storyline, the narrative that I don't believe anyone in their right skull saw coming was Daniel Jones was an MVP candidate for the first half of the NFL season this year in his first stint with the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, he got marred by the injuries at the end. He goes out. He misses the rest of the year. And I'm going to compound this one. This is a two-parter of mine because it goes together. Daniel Jones goes out, and then we get 44-year-old grandfather Phillip Rivers coming off of being 4 years removed from the league to come back, actually played pretty decent quarterback, replacing Daniel Jones. So the Colts emergence, Daniel Jones playing really good football. No one expected any of this. They expected the Colts to be a laughing stock with Jones at quarterback. He goes out and he just balling out. Call it because of the offensive line. Call it because of Jonathan Taylor. Someone's still got to get the receivers the ball. Someone's still got to lead the offense. And somehow Daniel Jones was literally, before he went down, considered a top 3 MVP candidate until he's got that first leg injury. And then it was 2 weeks of just horrible play when he was obviously very impaired by that injury. And then they eventually get him down. And then, then Phillip Rivers coming in was the second parter of a Colts season that I don't think anybody saw coming, was Phillip freaking Rivers coming back into the league. Granted, he didn't get a win, but he played pretty damn good for a man, like I'm saying, he's been so removed. He's 44 and he can't move. I love seeing Phillip Rivers come back and do what he did, man. He played some damn good football, given the circumstance. So that was my favorite, narrative of the year. Totally unexpected. No one in their right mind would have started that year and be like, yeah, you know what? I could see halfway through the season Daniel Jones will be an MVP candidate this year. Not a chance.
I'm going to tell you before we move on, I don't know if you watched the game this weekend. Riley Leonard didn't look bad. I think they kind of jumped the gun with Phillip Rivers. I think they should have gave Riley Leonard a couple games. He didn't look bad. I think that offense could have did more with him than Phillip Rivers. I'm just being honest. Phillip Rivers could only throw it out. That's about it. But
you're saying that because you're a Notre Dame guy. I know that.
I mean, but he only played 1 year for us, so he's not legacy in. But no, he didn't look bad though. Austin, if you would have watched the game, he didn't look bad. So, but yeah. Next, I don't know. We'll see next year.
Oh, go ahead.
Moving on next, I want to give a salute and a hand clap. Myles Garrett breaking the sack record. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, 23 sacks in 19 games is fucking awesome. It could have been 20 games. To get a sack every game when everybody know you are the best player. Every game he's winning this year. I don't care what nobody say. He's been the best player on the football field. And for everybody to know that, he still dominates. He's still able to get things done. Listen, you got to take your hat off for him. I know Michael Strahan going to hate. I know TJ Watt's probably not going to hate because he's a more humble guy. I like TJ Watt. But Michael Strahan, that shit he said was kind of crazy when it was crazy because the guy who held the record before him, he cussed Brett Favre out because, he didn't fuck with him. He's seen it for years, wanted to fight the guy because you laid down for him. And now Michael Strahan is mad that Myles Garrett got it when clearly you only got it because the guy laid down for you. But what a season. Myles Garrett we could have used you in Baltimore. I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to us. But listen, 23 sacks, 17, 18, 19 games. It doesn't matter. Listen, bro, you one of the greatest defensive players I ever seen. So to me, that's a big story. I don't think it's ever even going to get close. He may get close next year, but I don't think nobody's going to get close for a long time. So salute to Myles Garrett. And once again, I mean, is he not the most well put together football player ever too? Like, no, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he's on nothing but PEDs, testosterone. I mean, he might be Hercules himself. He might be Hercules on Earth. So, yeah, salute to Myles Garrett.
Yep. This one's tough. That's a good one, man. Your first two are really good here. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on what I'm going to do with my second one here because what I'm going to go with the second one because it was not just because it's my Packers, but it shook the NFL world that Dallas Cowboys go out and traded Micah Parsons to the Packers. Obviously, top 3-5 player in the league. Anytime that news happens, it shakes the entire landscape of the sport. And obviously, his season got cut short by the ACL injury early on, but even then, he still had 12.5 sacks. He became the first player in NFL history to have 12-plus sacks in each of his first 5 seasons in the league. He's still only 27 next year. He's an elite player. You always talk about his run defense, and you got some credit to it, but it definitely showed up. It was definitely good, and I watched every Packer game religiously, and his run defense showed up enough to me being like, I was happy about what he was doing on that for that aspect of the game as well. And obviously, we saw as soon as he went out just how much he mattered to this team. Parsons hits the ground with the ACL injury, and from there on out, the Packers have a bottom feeder defense the rest of the year. So there's no questions about just how impactful, how important that addition was. Obviously, the Packers gave up a couple first-round picks and Kenny Clark to go acquire him. And look, I'll take Parsons over a 30-year-old defensive tackle any day of the week. Granted, Kenny Clark had a decent, season with the Cowboys, but obviously this was a landscape-changing move in the NFL for the team to go out to make a trade like that. And it was a huge story. It was massive news. No matter who would have acquired Micah Parsons, and he's in contract through 2029. Him and Myles Garrett were in a league of their own this year, and it wasn't even close. From a pressure weight, from a win percentage on pass rush snaps, from a double team percentage. Like, you look at any graph, and it's just Parsons and Garrett hanging out by themselves, and then the rest of football, the rest of the pass rushers in the league. So huge news, huge for the Packers. And then once he went down, like I said, you saw just how much he mattered to this team, just how much they needed him, because we are back to having no pass rush. We are back to the cornerbacks getting exposed every week. And I never thought one Micah Parsons could cover up for so many flaws on one defense, but it's very clear that he was doing that. The Packers were a top 5 defense before he went out, and they're finishing as closer to a bottom 5 defense. So that's gonna be my number 2 pick in this
Micah, you got lucky that I didn't see you in the playoffs this year, because I was waiting to tell Austin I told you so. So on to next year, maybe you'll return next year. But I was waiting to say, Austin did not tell you he was going to get in them playoffs and not do nothing. We'll see next year. He's got to prove to me. He's got to prove to me.
That's fair. No, that's fair. And like our Packers fan last week said, it was evident when the Packers spanked up on the Cowboys in that playoff game a couple years ago. Parsons wasn't. It was shocking. You wouldn't think Parsons was on the field at all. And what I will say with the Parsons thing to wrap it up is, again, I have never seen so many blatant, egregious hold calls in my entire 31 years of life, most of them watching football every single weekend. I have never seen so many holds go uncalled. The amount of screenshots out there of Micah Parsons with an arm around his neck, with rhyming, most definitely holding, and I've seen get called, and I've seen less things get called in most games. I've never seen it. He probably would have easily had at least 15 sacks this year before the injury, if refs just called him normal. They called him like a superstar. It's like, well, we know that you got a hand on your throat, around your neck every single snap, but we're not going to call it because you're so good you can work through those things. So we're going to be looking elsewhere. Don't mind that that's happening, and don't mind that every time it happens, generally speaking, the other team goes out and makes a really impactful play. They get a first down. It ends up resulting in a drive where they score a touchdown. So the amount of times where it happens, and then you jump on Packers Twitter and it's everyone blowing up like, how did they not call that? Generally, that drive ends up the other team scoring points or something terrible for the Packers. So that was another part of the Micah Parsons season that was. And I'm very excited for him next year. And I think, it's a big reason. I don't think Jeff Hafley gets a job this year as a head coach. I think he runs it back like our guest said last week. He runs it back with Parsons, takes care of unfinished business.
It's going to be a lot of opens, Austin. So he's probably not going to be able to turn down the money. Wow. I wouldn't, but because I think it's probably going to be 3 more jobs open. I'm going to tell you now, after the playoffs, I think it's going to be 3 more. So we'll see. But last but not least, I'm a high school quarterback. So I'm just, got a heart. I love to see my quarterbacks really get back. So my last story is to see Caleb Williams and Drake May solidify their sophomore season, not a sophomore slump, but actually an elevation to MVP guys, passing the baton on new faces of the NFL and guys who, whether you believe it or not, have a chance to win Super Bowls this year. So I've been high on Caleb Williams since, like I said, I used to watch him play at Gonzaga. He played against my ex-high school. It was the first time I ever seen him. That was his high school team in DC.
Oh, I was gonna say, what the heck?
Yeah. That's his high school team in DC. My old high school that I was coaching at actually played him his senior year. We beat the dog break. We won the state title that year. We beat the dog breaks out of him, but that was my first time seeing him in 2018. It was 2018. And from day one, he could sling a rock. I was watching him warm up like because I didn't know who he was. I wasn't even, I haven't moved to this area yet. I was just up here to see my high school play him. So I've been high on him since high school, but I'm glad that he's showing the world he's super talented. And he has a clutch gene. He can play bad for 3 quarters, and somehow, some way, he just becomes Houdini in the 4th quarter. Also, salute to Drake May, a guy that a lot of people was like, why did they draft him at that spot? He didn't have that many starts at UNC and this, that, and the third. Listen, he's a May. He comes from athletic genes. And once again, another guy, if you've seen him, you see he's athletic and he has a cannon of an arm. And you only knew when Vrabel and Josh McDaniels was going to get to him what he was going to be. And imagine what he'll do if he can get a number 1. Because to me, I still don't think he has a number 1 on his team, not a solidified all-pro. But imagine what this guy will do when he get a number 1. So I just want to say the NFL is in a good place with Caleb Williams and Drake May. I think Drake May is not as swaggy. I think he needs to get a little bit more vibrato with who he is so he can become like this big marketable guy. He's not marketable yet. Caleb Williams is with the nails and the mouthpiece like Steph, but yeah, Drake May got to start talking more. Start talking some more shit too.
Hey, he's clearly letting his playing do the talking, right? He's MVP. He's probably going to win MVP. Let's be honest. There's a lot of debate as a Stafford, as it May. May finishes, like we've said in the past episodes, the only quarterback this year with a 70% completion percentage. He actually he had his 13th game with 100+ passer rating, which passed Patriots legend Tom Brady for the most in a single season in Patriots history. And wherever you look, whatever quarterback, advanced stat, advanced metric, regular stat, if Drake May isn't number 1, he's in the top 3 of damn near everything.
And that's why you got to come out and tell Cam Newton he's not a game manager. Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Hating, but he only hating because he went to New England and was some shit.
And was a bitch. Yeah, exactly.
Those stats ain't game manager.
No, you cannot sit here and say someone who is top 3 in every possible category with old Stephon Diggs as his best pass catcher with a run game that didn't exist until halfway through the season and call him a game manager. He took over that shit. He ran that shit. Mac Hollins was one of his best receivers, most reliable receivers all season. To say he's a game manager, I'm sorry. And I know Cam Newton loves to think he's right about everything and talking to the microphone like he's Jesus. But what an awful
That's an awful take. That was an awful take. That was an awful take.
Yeah, and then on Caleb Williams, I'm sitting here as a Packer fan, and I can't stand how good he looks, and I've said it before. But, hey, you know what? All I'll say, And we're going to have to wait one more season to see a 4,000-yard passer in Chicago. And I know Joey's in the background having to listen to that, but I would also say this is probably he probably had the greatest season for a Bears quarterback, maybe ever, at least top 2, right? 3,942 yards, 31 total touchdowns, only 7 picks, 6 fourth quarter comebacks, like you said. I mean, what were they called? The cardiac Bears. They won every game in the final minute, and that's not a sustainable way to win football games. And we've seen teams who won like that one season come back the next season with a harder schedule and not be able to do the same thing again because, again, it's not a sustainable way of winning. But Ben Johnson totally changed the culture in Chicago, totally changed the trajectory. It's working. They got a great run game. They got weapons galore. So that team's ahead of schedule. And if Caleb Williams, and no matter how you want to cut it, no matter what excuse you want to be, the completion percentage was not there. And everyone wants to talk about it. I won't belabor the point. I've tried to dissect it and seen what everyone has to say on it. It always comes down to it sucked. It wasn't good enough. He has not enough touch on a lot of passes, missed a lot of the medium stuff. But my God, when he rolls out to his right, that's as dangerous and scary as it gets to be on the other side of Caleb Williams rolling out to his right. And he is an MF-er to have to tackle when he gets outside the pocket too. So yeah, I really hate that he's in the NFC North is all I'll say on that. My third pick, because this one didn't get solidified to the last week. And so no one's really talked about it, but as a stat I found when I was writing the Sidelinr newsletter this week, the NFC West, this is my third pick, something that's under the radar. The NFC West showed out with historical dominance this season. For the first time in history, 3 teams in a single division, being the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Rams, finished with 12 wins. Insane, considering those 3 teams also have to play each other twice a year. Cardinals kind of missed the memo. Sucks to be a Cardinals fan in this situation. Coincidentally enough, those 3 teams also finished with the highest winning percentage in the NFC. Just absolutely absurd. From the Seahawks winning that division in the final week in that game with the 49ers, and Jackson Smith and Jigba leading the NFL in receiving yards, setting the Seahawks single-season record. Matt Stafford being a season-long MVP candidate with that 28 touchdown, no interception streak, to the 49ers running out the backups on defense all year, with McCaffrey being the only reliable piece, with Mac Jones playing half the year, Brock Purdy playing half the year, Brock Purdy coming back and playing insane football in the last 6-7 games of the year, CMC playing at a lights-out level, becoming joining LaDainian Tomlinson as the only players with 3 seasons of 2,000 or more scrimmage yards with 15 or more touchdowns. And good Lord, Kyle Shanahan, coach of the year as ever. He has deserved it this year, as much as he's ever deserved it. I don't think he'll get it, but he deserves it for what that team had. So what an insane season for the NFC North. And biggest caps off goes to Mike McDonald, right? When you have to square up with Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan twice a year, and you're able to kick their ass, not every time, but yeah, and those are two of the best offense, if not the 2 best offensive minds in football are in your conference, and your defense can manhandle them. I mean, good Lord, what a home run hire that has turned out to be for the Seahawks. And everyone knows that Legion of Boom defense the Seahawks are known for, their historical defense, but that defense that they got this year would give anyone a run for their money. They're tops in DVOA and against the run, against the pass. And in the final week of the season, they claimed the throne for the best scoring defense in the league. So that with NFC West, man, there's quite literally never been a better division in a single year than that. That is my number 3 to round off our fantasy draft pick. So who did you go with? You went with Mahomes. You went with Garrett, and you went with Chief Dynasty, Garrett, and Caleb and Drake.
Yeah, I'm biased to the quarterbacks, man. It's quarterback game. When we win, we get the girls. When we lose, they want to fire us. So it's all good though. But to get back to that, I want to tell people. I know I had these glasses on, but my takes on this podcast, I'm off a little bit every now and then.
We all are.
But I called Seattle out when they were 3rd still in the division. I watched them play. I'm telling you, if I get eyes on you, if I watch you play, listen, I'm good on calling it, but I'm going to be a little bit biased in our next segment and picking Super Bowl winners. So it's not what my eyes seen. It's my biasy that's coming up, and I'll get there when we get there, but my biasy.
No, I love it. I mean, quick. I mean, there's a couple honorable mentions in this one. There's a few that we'll leave off the list here, but I think another one that could have been mentioned was like you said, the Steelers bet on Aaron Rodgers was a huge. Obviously, they bring in Aaron Rodgers. What will that be? Will it work out? Gets him to the playoffs. So that was a huge win for the Steelers, a big one in his first season there, and then another one, Tua getting benched right after signing the extension in 2024. And now he gets benched, and now the Dolphins are in all kinds of weird hell because McDaniel sucks and Tua sucks, and so there's a couple more. There's a couple more out there. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence finally maybe living up to his potential. Liam Cohen being an insane coach this year and just dominating the Texans. I mean, we could go on and on and on about the biggest storylines this year, but I think that was a solid hell of a list.
For sure.
I don't know. I think you might have. You taking that Chiefs dynasty far, that's a big number one there. I think you might have beat me on that one, but all right.
I mean, nobody would have bet that at the beginning of the year. Did they?
I mean,
because I had a preseason bet on FanDuel that they were going to the playoffs, and I'm mad because it.
All year.
Yeah, that's
all year you said never bet against them. Never bet against Mahomes and Reed. But that's not fair. I mean, Mahomes got the ACL injury. It was going downhill from there. The other one we could have thrown is the Broncos. 14-3, the first time that they win the AFC and the AFC playoffs run through Denver the first time since 2015. And what happened in 2015? What happened in 2015, though?
I don't want to talk about it, but
they won the Super Bowl.
No, but they're frauds.
I would tend to agree.
Because they had one of the greatest quarterbacks ever and one of the greatest defenses ever. This team ain't that, and we're gonna see this soon because
the defense kind of got exposed down the stretch here. I mean, and the inconsistent run. I mean, let's get into it. How about we just
let's because they're gonna be first out. I think they're gonna be first out. I'm telling you. Just whoever makes it to them. Getting them the fuck out of it. It's getting them the fuck out of there. So
I could see it. I mean, look, Sean Payton had 2 goals that he set for the team Sean Payton had 3 goals he set for the team this year. Win the division, check. Secure the 1 seed, check. Last one, win the Super Bowl. So 2/3 of the way there. Good goals by Sean Payton. Hey, damn good goals. But let's get into it. Another thing here, now that, again, the playoffs are officially set, we're going to go into our playoff predictor bracket right now and get to the end of this season. Who is winning our Super Bowl from both of our perspectives? So to start the year, obviously, to start the playoffs, the Seahawks and the Broncos, they get their bye. What we got is the Texans, Steelers, Bills, Jaguars, Patriots versus Chargers in the AFC. NFC, we got the Rams and the Panthers, 49ers, Eagles, and the Packers, Bears rubber match. So why don't we start off with the Texans, Steelers? Iman, who you got?
I'm going with Pittsburgh's going to be cold. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to be cold. Them terrible towels going to be gone. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Pittsburgh Steelers. DK Metcalf come back. That pass rush doesn't affect Aaron Rodgers. He's got confidence. That team is, and granted, I think that defense got good DBs, but I'm going with the upset. I just don't think Houston will play well in that cold weather with them terrible towels. So I'm going with the upset. Pittsburgh over the Texans.
Wow. Yeah. Over the number 1 or 2 defense in football?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go. I mean, technically, that's not even the upset because the Texans are the 5 seed. The Steelers are the 4. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm going with the Texans. I just have to pick the elite defense against a mid offense that's got not shit for what. I mean, DK's barely, he gets 4 catches a game, 4 or 5 catches a game. And then the rest is like pretty much Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, the Steelers have done a good enough job. But, most of the Texans' final games of the season have been, you can call them tune-up games when you're looking in the offenses they're facing the last 6-7 weeks have been a lot of not-so-great offenses. So they've just been kind of sitting back, getting right, dominating everyone as they're supposed to do. And like I said, the Steelers' offense to me just doesn't present enough of a challenge to be able to overcome Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, the number 1 and 2 in the NFL in quarterback hurries this year, and just absolute weapons off the edge with Derek Stingley, an all-pro in the secondary type of situation, which everything's running smooth for that defense right now. And And again, with or without DK, I just don't see there being enough firepower to put up enough points on a defense that has absolutely crapped on everyone. The Chiefs with Mahomes. Remember what they did with Mahomes before the injury? The Chiefs could have moved the ball 5 yards, and they got weapons astronomically better than the Steelers, and even their weapons aren't that great. But so I just can't. I don't have enough confidence in the Steelers on either side. Their defense is as bad as it's been in a long time. They got coaching turmoil. DK's coming off of 2 weeks where he hasn't played, which, whatever. I don't think that matters much. They just don't have enough firepower to me. As much of a bowling ball as Jalen Warren is and as dynamic as Kenneth Gainwell's been in the offense, I just don't see them being the team that gets the best of that Texans defense. And I think the Texans offense can do just enough. I mean, they're coming on. They've been getting better.
It's tough to play in Pittsburgh when that weather be biting. I listen, that is the neutralizer. So we're going to see.
Mm-hmm. All right, what about Jaguars Bills?
This is where my bias come in at. Listen, there's nobody who's ever put a helmet on or buttoned the chin strap who don't want to see a guy like Josh Allen win. Listen, my AFC is going to be biased all the way through. I want to finally see a guy who's just a great player get one. I don't want him to be an AI. I don't want him to be a Chris Paul. Great careers, but never win it all. And I think if there's any year, so I'm just telling y'all, once we get through all of these other games, every game, anybody going against Buffalo, I am going with biasy because I want to see Mr. Allen finally get one. So I'm going with Josh Allen, Superman, Batman, Flash, whatever. He's a superhuman mutant over Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going with him.
And that's where this hurts me to say, as a Josh Allen stan, I'm taking the Jaguars. I just look, and I didn't want to do it for all the reasons you just said. He's going to be the best player on the field that game. No, he's going to be the best player on the field no matter who he plays. Even debatably against if he plays Drake May, probably is the best player on the field. He's an alien. But where I'm like trying to be realistic and trying to move my Josh Allen stand to the side is the Jaguars have the best run defense in the NFL this year, which is really the only thing the Bills had going for them is Josh Allen and James Cook. And if they take that away, as surprising as this is to say, if they make Josh Allen have to throw the ball, and not because of Josh Allen, because of the system and because of the pass catchers available to him, I think the Bills are going to get in trouble. Because, again, you have a great run defense you're going against, and let's not act like that's it, because we talked about it a couple episodes ago. The Jaguars have a positive EPA in every single coverage, cover 2, 3, 4, you name it. They have done incredibly well in every coverage. You got Devin Lloyd, middle linebacker, playing out of his skull. He's just reading quarterbacks so well in coverage, and that's what they drafted him to be, and he's fulfilling. Trayvon Walker, I might have dogged him a little bit a couple weeks ago about his pass rushing. He's been one of the best run defenders in the NFL this year and been a huge, huge difference maker up front for them. And the Bills just don't, and their defense has been shaky. It's been better down the stretch, but I just don't think that they have enough to overcome what is considered probably the hottest team in the AFC coming into the playoffs, right? And the Jaguars are running through everyone. Liam Cohen is scheming up like he is so deep in his bag right now. And Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football of his entire life. That Jacoby Myers trade really turned around that offense. If you think about it and how they use him and what the offense has looked like since he's got there, it's been a whole different show. Ever since then, that's when Trevor Lawrence has started playing MVP level football. And just they're so hot right now. They got all the momentum, and the Bills are in a spot where it seems like all the cards are against them. And I want to pull for Josh Allen so bad here, but I just can't. I can't.
Austin, one thing I'm gonna tell you new guys, because I know y'all new football people. Y'all love your numbers, you love your stats,
I know you hate them.
Love your analytics. Listen, because when you play that game, playoff, you need experience. Mm-hmm. And you need killers. And one thing that I know, when you going against a killer, you need another killer who's killed before. And the only person who's ever shown to kill Superman, we've seen that movie, No Kryptonite. We've seen Batman he had that extra suit and shit. Trevor Lawrence isn't Batman. So I don't know if you've seen that Superman versus Batman. He's not that. He's not that. So I'm telling you, your stats don't speak for experience, will, and just we've never experienced Josh Allen not being Superman in the playoffs.
You're right.
Nobody ever said he's had a bad game in the playoffs.
And it's taken a Superman who's a little bit more Superman than Josh Allen to take him down every time.
Exactly.
And I agree.
Trevor ain't that.
Nope. He's not, but you know what? It's not a one-man sport. It's a 22-man sport. And the better head coach and the better play caller is in Jacksonville. The better rounded roster is in Jacksonville. I want it. You're right. You're 100% right. I'm not taking that away. I'm just trying to be realistic with all the cards that I got in my hand. It's just leaning to Jacksonville 55-45 right now is kind of where I'm at with it. Okay. And that 45 is all challenge.
Yeah, that's good. But that's good. That's good odds. I'm telling you, that's good odds. So just keep those odds so you can kind of say I wasn't all the way against
You're right.
Because he may hear this, Austin.
I love you, Josh.
You may put some bulletin boards up, but you going to put bulletin board material for Superman. And I'm telling you, you're going to wake him up.
Hey, I got no problems. If Josh Allen wants to look at my pretty face every day, that's good with me. All right, last one. This is a really intriguing quarterback matchup. Chargers-Patriots, Drake May versus Justin Herbert. Who you got?
I'm going New England. I'm just not a firm believer of Jim Harbaugh or Justin Herbert. He's banged up still. They haven't been looking too good. They can't. I don't think they'll get it done against Drake May. I think Drake May gets past LA, Mike Vrabel. They're rolling downhill, and Chargers ain't doing that. So I'd rather take the team that's rolling downhill, playing good football at the right time. So I'm going with New England. Yeah.
As much as I like Herbert, I really do. Look, he's awesome. Like you said, he's banged up. The Patriots got probably the MVP. They got they got Mike Vrabel, who's been in coach and played in these big games before. Played in these big games a couple times at the Super Bowl runs with the Patriots. So he's a perfect coach for these moments, for these situations, for these playoffs. Even with a young quarterback with not a ton of talent on the offense, and Drake May is prone to taking some sacks, and the Chargers defense, I'm thinking, is going to have to play lights out, and they're going to have to get in Drake May's grill a lot if they want to win. But yeah, this one I am leaning the MVP level quarterback is going to be too much to overcome in this one. I just don't think that the Chargers guy. I don't have to belabor too much, but all right. Over to the NFC. So we're finishing. I got the Texans, Jags, and Patriots. You got the Steelers, Bills, Patriots. Yep. So we can get into the next round how that'll round out for you with the seeding. But in the NFC, first game we got the Panthers versus the Rams, and I'm just gonna say this about this one: Panthers beat the Rams. I'm gonna pull out it's really hard to beat a team twice card on this one when you're the Carolina Panthers against the freaking Rams on this one, especially when the other side of the ball has got Stafford, Puka, Devontae, McVay, Kyron Williams, and a solid-ass defense. I think the Rams, like many teams, they slept and they looked past the Panthers. They've learned their lesson. The Panthers ain't, they're coming off a loss to the Buccaneers to end the season. They're not impressing anyone enough to be like, yeah, I think they're going to be able to take down the Rams twice this season with an MVP quarterback and the best offensive mind in football. It's going to take some type of damn miracle. Now, the Panthers have been gritty. And the Rams certainly should not just look past them because that's cost them, just like it cost the Packers earlier this year too. But they're not rolling with momentum. The Rams got too much. I think it was a fluke first time. This one's easy for me. I'm assuming easy for you too.
Yeah, the Panthers are stumbling in, and hey, good job making it in the playoffs since 2015. Keep coming up too, but making it in the playoffs. Hey, Bryce. Hey, good, but you got lucky. Yeah, you got lucky. And the Rams are going to beat the shit out of y'all because y'all I don't think they want to be there. That's why I looked at that game against Tampa. They ain't want to be there. They wasn't thinking that the Saints was going to lose to the Falcons. So, yeah, I'm Rams by 3 touchdowns.
Easy. 3 touchdowns? I could, pull the backups in the fourth. So then we got the 49ers, Eagles. I'm going 49ers on this one. And you know why? Just like the Jags, this is the hottest team in the NFC going into the playoffs. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts is coming off a game where he threw 0 passing yards in the second half. The Eagles' offense has been dysfunctional all year. They never got a run game going. Jalen Hurts maybe was one of his worst seasons from a passing perspective. The whole A.J. Brown thing. And look, like I said, the 49ers offense is just hitting stride. Say what you will about the defense. The 49ers can put up 30 points on any defense in this playoffs. It seems like when Purdy's playing at his best level ever, CMC's playing at an MVP level, they're getting healthy. Fred Warner could be back if they just got to win a game here. And like I said, that Eagles offense being in shambles still. Hurts is the far worst quarterback in this game. Running backs probably an even split between McCaffrey and Saquon. Pass catchers definitely goes to the Eagles, but the Eagles have no idea how to use their pass catchers effectively. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I think we're talking one team scores 30 something, and the other team scores high 20s type of game. But I think it's the better coached 49ers with the better offense, the hottest offense in the NFC, are going to come out on top of this one for me. The Eagles this ain't it. This never looked like the year for them.
I'm conflicted because, I'm really conflicted on this game because I think that the Eagles been playing possum all year. For some odd reason, I feel like they're just going to have an explosion in this playoff. So
a release of sorts.
Yes, I'm taking the Eagles, but I'm kind of conflicted because the 49ers, what they've been able to do has been just tremendous all year. I mean, they lost so many superstars. So
yeah.
But I feel some odd reason I just feel like Saquon's been kind of waiting. They kind of know how to get in the playoffs and get it done. So I kind of think, well, we're just gonna go through the motions. We're coming off a Super Bowl. Let's just get to the playoffs and then turn it on. And I think we're gonna see an Eagles team turn it on in the first round against San Fran. So I'm gonna take Eagles over the 49ers.
Salah's been great for the 49ers on defense. The Eagles are talking about firing their OC is like all the fans want the OC fired. And so I just can't get behind it. I just really can't. They're not scheming up shit. Jalen Hurts has just been bad, man. I just can't. And y'all know me. I'm a backup Eagles fan my entire life. There's not some hate on them. It's just, again, I'm just trying to take a real perspective here. And being so, Joey, cover your ears in the background because Packers-Bears rubber match. I'm going with the Packers to win this one in Chicago. And let me just quickly explain why. Chicago's coming off of a pretty terrible loss to the Lions. They were playing their starters, both sides. Maybe it wasn't to the fullest extent, but they struggled against a shitty, season-long, crappy Lions defense. And this team isn't the Cardiac Bears for nothing. And you mentioned it earlier, playoff experience. Ben Johnson's got it. Who else on that offense has it? Caleb Williams don't. Swift don't. I mean, Swift maybe a little bit, but not really. DJ Moore, nope. The young receivers, nope. Colson Loveland, nope. The defense, nope. So there's just about no playoffs experience from the big-time premier players on this Bears team. And on the Packers side of the ball, Love, Jacobs, Watson, Reed, and finally, Zach Tom. Finally, all these guys are going to be fully healthy on the field together. Haven't seen it all year because Zach Tom at right tackle, all pro level right tackle, has been banged up the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Reed's just coming back. Jacobs has kind of been banged up the last 4 or 5 weeks, and then Love's been out the last couple of weeks. The Bears, and then hear things like, well, they don't have Parsons. The Bears pretty much shut down Micah Parsons. I think he had one tackle the first time the Packers and Bears played, and the Packers won that game. So for me, it's like, yes, Parsons has a factor just being on the field, but the fact that the Packers could win when Micah Parsons quite literally did nothing, and then the time that the Packers lose, it took the Bears beating the Packers having pretty much their JV roster on the field, a CVS list of just Packer implosions on themselves. You made it. Dropped interception was critical. Dropped onside kick, the muff kick, the fumbled overtime snap. And, and say what you will, I'm going to call it out. That last play when Caleb Williams just dropped in an absolute beauty to win that game. You can't tell me Quay Walker wasn't blatantly held on that play and he would have blown up Caleb Williams. And yes, Keyshawn Nixon definitely got the DJ Moore early in the end zone on that game winner, but it shouldn't have happened. Quay Walker's jersey was extended about 2 feet off of his body right in front of a ref. You can take the slow-mo, cut it, stop the film. You see that jersey is stretched. And then when you watch it full speed, he visibly slowed down on his pass. So that play never should have even happened. That throw never should have happened. And it took all of these things going perfectly right for the Cardiac Bears, winning a classic way that they've won all season, for them to like get the win. And it's just one of those things goes the other way. The Packers don't fumble the onside kick, it's over. They don't fumble the overtime snap, probably doesn't happen. If McKinney gets that interception, different ball game. If the Packers don't got a bunch of injuries all over the place, probably different ball game. So I think the Bears, they got the momentum, more momentum. The Packers are certainly limping into this one still. But after seeing these two games, and there's a little bias. I'll definitely say there's a little bias here. Packers going to kick that ass, and Packers going to get on to the next round. Who you got? And the Packers got a lot more playoff experience across the board, including the quarterback and the coach.
I'm just wondering what Jordan Love's gonna be when he get there. So
against that terrible Bears defense, again.
That's why I say. But I'm gonna tell you though that when I'm telling you that Cole, and I know he's used to playing in Green Bay, so both of these teams are equally. The Cole doesn't. But it does take everything down offensively down a notch. And I just think the better running team is Chicago at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still going to take Green Bay in a close one, but I do think it's going to be more nail-biter. You said ass kicking. I think it's going to be a little bit more nail-biting than you think. But I do think the Packers will pull it out. Fourth quarter. Last drive, Jordan Love with a touchdown, too. I don't think it'll be a field goal by winning, but I just feel like Jordan Love will pull it out at the end. But I think it's going to be a nail-biter, though. I think it's going to be closer than you think. I'm telling you now. I think it's going to be closer than you think.
I say ass-kicking as a biased fan. No, you're right. It'll probably be a 3 to 6 point win, whoever wins it. And Lord knows, I'm preparing myself mentally for the missed Packers field goal because it's coming. It always comes at the worst freaking moments with this team. It's coming.
We hope not.
Oh,
we hope not.
We hope not, but it's coming. All right, let's move on to the round 2. Iman, I don't know if you got yours written down because right now where I'm squaring up in the next round here in the AFC, I got I got the Jaguars with the Patriots, and I got the Texans versus the Broncos. And I don't know how yours exactly is going to shake out. Do you got that down for how yours is going to shake out?
Yeah, because I got the higher seeds. Well, no,
so you're going to have the Bills.
You
have the Bills and the Bills versus the Broncos. It's going to be your first game.
And then the Steelers versus the Patriots.
Yep.
So listen, I told you I'm biased all the way. I think the Broncos are fucking frauds anyway. So I don't care who plays them the first round. They're getting beat. Once again, Josh Allen and Mile High. He's gonna eat. Listen, you can smoke weed and all. I think he looks like a guy that smokes. Just like he's gonna smoke the day before. And then he's gonna get in that game and be on one. I'm going Buffalo, and then it stops for Aaron Rodgers. Then the next round, it's over for you, Aaron. I am going New England over the Steelers.
Okay, that's easy. Can't complain much. I mean, I want to ride this Josh Allen train with you. It's bad, really bad. So I got Jaguars Patriots. To me, the only real advantage the Patriots have on this one, on paper, is the quarterback, and I would probably take Travion Henderson over Travis Etienne a little bit in that backfield for sure. But even then, Drake May, again, MVP. Lawrence playing at the highest level of any quarterback in football the last 6 weeks. Now, I mean, he's been as good as May. He's been as good as Stafford. And his coach is out coaching everyone they come up against. I think it's gonna be an insane battle of offensive minds. Josh McDaniels versus Liam Cohen here it should be a sick game. And I think, and again, just trying to look at all my cards here, that Jags defense being on the tear that they're on right now is ultimately. The Patriots don't have a bad defense, but it ain't as good as, not even close to as good as the Jaguars defense. I think what happens is Trevor Lawrence is definitely going to make a mistake in this game that's going to be costly, but I think there's going to be enough because the defense will hold down the Patriots enough to where the Jaguars will be able to just barely edge them out here, and some type of high 20s type of shootout like that Packers-Bears game, maybe like a 31, 28, 27 type of game or 28, 25 type of game. And I just think the Jags are a little bit more complete, playing a little bit more better or just better football right now. And Drake May, no playoff experience, and Trevor Lawrence has been in the playoffs before. Liam Cohen's had some playoff experience. I'm going to go Jags here, right? Because Liam Cohen was he in there he was with the Bucs for how many years? They must have.
Couple,
I think they made it with the Bucs.
I think it was a couple.
So I'm going Jags here. And then I got Texans, Broncos. And like you, Broncos, for me, are losing this one. Because last time they played the Texans, mind you, they won 18-15. But at that time, the Texans offense could not get out of its own way. There were problems galore. Nick Caley hadn't figured quite out the offense yet. And the Broncos offense has just consistently struggled to run the ball. Their pass catchers have been average all year. And that's just not going to cut it against the best top 2 defense in football for me this year. And the Texans offense is in a much, much better spot right now than they were when they played and lost 18-15 to the Broncos. So for me, I think the Texans got more momentum. I don't think the Broncos and Bo Nix and that run game are going to be able to do much against this defense yet again, where I think the Texans offense, and seeing that the Broncos defense has been a little bit more prone to getting exposed here and there lately, right? If it ain't Nick Bonito getting in the backfield, who is it? I think the Texans edge this one out. It's low scoring game again, though. So I'm going Texans and Jaguars. Somehow the AFC South is my AFC championship right now. And that terrifies me. That terrifies me. All right. Over to the NFC. Who do you got? Do you know who your games are?
I'll have
so you went Rams and Eagles, right?
Yeah, Rams, Eagles, and Green
Packers.
Bay.
It's going to be Packers, Seahawks for us both, and it's going to be Rams, Eagles for you. So who you got between Rams and Eagles?
I'm going to go, I think the Rams paid the Eagles back from last year, stopped them from going. So I'll go Matt Stafford over the Eagles in the second round, and I'm going Seattle in a runaway against Green Bay. I just, that 12th man, it's going to be a little bit too much for that cheesehead. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with for that round.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, for me, I got Rams, 49ers. Right now, this is crazy. 3 NFC West teams in these Final Four. I got Rams, Niners, and I'm also taking the Rams here because the 49ers, as time after time, have shown they do not have the defensive capabilities or manpower. I don't think they will have enough to hold down the Rams offense in this one. I think both teams will probably drop in. This could be like another crazy, crazy shootout like the 49ers-Bears game was. I could see that for certain, but I think the Rams defense is much, much better than the 49ers defense, to where I think what's going to happen is 49ers aren't going to be able to generate enough pressure to get Stafford off of his game, whereas I think the Rams are going to be able to generate enough pressure on Purdy and get enough things going, win the line of scrimmage, and force Purdy into 1 or 2 mistakes, because he likes to try to force some things every now and then that really can end up in picks. We've seen Purdy with countless 2-3 interception games, even in the playoffs. And I think we might be seeing one of those, if not just one crucial interception where he tries to do too much. The Rams get him uncomfortable and he makes a crucial mistake when he shouldn't, when he can't. And I think that might be like a deciding factor in this game. Rams in totality have the edge for me on this one. And I think, like I said, it comes down to them forcing Purdy to do something stupid, where I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to do enough to really knock the Rams off from their defense. Is not good enough right now. Not good. And they certainly not good enough to stop Puka and what will be a healthy Devonta, assuming, he's back, it sounds like this week or for their next game. So yeah, I'm going there. And then I don't really got to get into the Packers Seahawks too much. That's going to be a Seahawks absolute ass kicking on the Pack. No, not when I say ass kicking, I seriously mean ass kicking. I'm talking, when I watched that last Seahawks game, I was like, I don't think the Packers can score 7 points on that team, maybe 10 if we're lucky. It would take a perfect game, I think, from Green Bay. I'm talking perfect execution.
Historic game.
Yep. And folks, I don't see that happen. I watch enough Packer football this season in my life to know that probably ain't happened. Take some type of miracle. And we've seen Sam Darnold even have games with 4 picks and still freaking, come up short to the Rams. And the Rams defense is just too much. I think they're going to be too much for a Packers offense that just hasn't been consistent. And the Packers defense, oh my God. If the JSN might have 200 yards. If I'm being realistic, JSN might have 200 yards in that game. And,
if y'all had Micah, I would feel a little bit more. Because I know Sam Darnold hates the fucking pressure, but without Micah, I don't see how y'all get pressure on him.
We haven't got pressure on anyone. You know what's crazy? We've talked about Rashawn Gary a lot. We had rookie Packers defensive edge, Barron Sorrell, was, Packers playing the backups this week. He finished that last week of the game, his only game he started this year. Barron Sorrell had more tackles for a loss and sacks than Rashawn Gary has had since middle of October.
Shit, he's trying to get some money. Yeah, trying to get some money. He's trying to get his way. I mean, shit, he may be that. He may be that the ram in the bush. He may be that ram in the bush that just, hey, give him more time next week.
Yeah. I just don't get it, man. Yeah, like you said, no pass rush. The cornerback, even with Trayvon Diggs had some nice reps, though. I'll give it to him. He had some nice reps this last week, but again, it was against the Vikings with oh my God, JJ McCarthy is so bad. Anyways, all right, so on to the championship round, and we're gonna end the episode after this, so stick with us. AFC Championship.
Josh Allen, I'm going with it. Josh finally gets in the Super Bowl, man. That's who I'm going with. Josh Allen finally gets in the Super Bowl, man. That's who I'm going with. I'm riding with him playing in the Super Bowl.
I hope your situation comes true. I really do. For me, I have two AFC South teams in my AFC Championship. So from there, I should know this is wrong and not going to happen. But here we are anyways. And I'm taking the Jaguars to beat the Texans. I really leaned on defense for this whole time, it seems like. I just don't think the Texans offense is going to be good enough to get past the Jaguars defense as good as they've been all season. The Texans don't have much of a run game, so it's going to be a lot of relying on CJ Stroud to beat the Jaguars' really, really stout defense. Both quarterbacks likely are going to need to play their best games of the season against two really, really good defenses. And right now, Lawrence is the hotter hand. I think Lawrence makes some mistakes here in this game. That Texans defense is prone to making quarterbacks make mistakes. But Cohen's schematics keep them in it off to pull out the dub. And Texans' inability to get a ground game going, I think, is what's going to cost them their season. Unless Stroud has a legacy game, which he could really use at this point after how this season went, and this would really be it for him. Might be what it takes. And then over to the NFC, I got Rams, Seahawks. I think you do as well, yeah? Who you taking?
Seahawks finally makes it back after a few years. One of the greatest defenses in the league right now. I'm taking Seattle. They won't win though. I'm going.
You're riding Josh.
Josh Allen will knock the Seattle Seahawks off in the Super Bowl. That is my Super Bowl prediction.
They finally get it. Bill Seahawks is your Super Bowl prediction.
They finally get a ring.
Josh Allen finally gets. I would love this. I hope the Lord you win this one out, man. I really do. I'm also taking the Seahawks here. I think the better defense ultimately prevails. I think Sam Darnold does a thing or two to put this game at risk like he's prone to do. I don't trust Sam Darnold with my life, but I think the Seahawks defense is just way too much. These teams, when they've played each other, have been so competitive. Like, they're going to punch each other in the mouth all game long. And I think just the Seahawks defense is what's going to come down to being the winning factor. That defense is so damn good. I think that's ultimately the problem for the Rams. I got Seahawks Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Seeing the Jaguars in the Super Bowl makes me want to throw up. I think I've gone wrong somewhere here, but Seahawks are going to run away at the Super Bowl. And again, I think they get the next one. I don't think I got to go too deep into it. I think they're the better team. I think it's the best team in the whole playoffs right now. I think is the best team is the Seahawks. Best defense in football this year from all aspects of it. I think they most definitely get Trevor Lawrence doing something stupid, and then their offense is just too potent. I think that the Jaguars here will have to play a perfect game like the Packers would against the Seahawks. I don't see that happening. Again, and I think Trevor Lawrence will choke. I think Sam Darnold will probably do a little bit of choking himself, but Seahawks are too damn good, too well coached. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Hey, look at that. Different paths, but we got to the same result. We didn't. No, you picked the Bills. And
that's all I want to tell people is, for the first time in my life, my team is home, so I'm being biased because I just love watching Josh Allen, and I want him. I understand when that door open, you got to get in. So I'm being biased, but watch it work.
Before we leave, really quick, who would you? Titans are a big head coaching thing, right? You got Cam Ward in there. It's an open vacancy. It sounds like they've requested to interview Broncos DC Vance Joseph, Colts DC Lou Anarumo, Chiefs DC Spagnuolo. I'm looking at this as like, you got a rookie quarterback who had a struggle rookie year, and you're looking at us. You shouldn't be looking at a single defensive coach. What the hell are you doing? Who you got, like a guy in mind?
You know how I feel about them fucking defensive guys, and I'm gonna keep saying this: the number one guy on the market is Mike McCarthy. I'm going to keep saying this. If you have a quarterback who needs somebody to get them right, not saying you're going to win the Super Bowl with him, but he's going to do enough to be able to get the quarterback into his next 4 years of his career. Mike McCarthy is the number one guy out there.
Over Stefanski?
I was thinking, if not him, I think you got to get experienced guy who's dealt with rookies. And he did better with Baker Mayfield. He dropped the ball with Shador. I think he should have just gave Shador more leeway. But Kevin Stefanski's done it with a rookie guy, getting him in the playoffs. So I think he will be next. But Mike McCarthy, I'm telling you, he's the number one guy out there in the portal when it comes to coaching. To me.
Oh, I love it. No, and he's obviously going to be a huge name for the Giants as well. But yeah, I mean, I just couldn't believe when I'm sitting back and seeing who they've requested to interview. If you got a struggling offense with a rookie quarterback you drafted 1-1, it is malpractice to even consider a defensive head coach, because then, like we've said before, you got to go bank that you nail the OC hire. And that is so difficult to do, especially if you don't got an up-and-up guy in the reins, which they don't. And Stefanski, like you said, I mean, they're going to have their qualms about bringing him in. But again, since Baker left, look who he's had at quarterback. Deshaun Watson, that was horrible. He has had Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, PJ Walker, Jeff Driscoll, Bailey Zappi. So can we really – he hasn't been great. He hasn't been perfect. But can we really – blame Stefanski?
Nope, you can't judge him on that. Yep, because I'm better than two of those guys. I'm being honest. I'm better than two of those guys.
That's what I'm saying here. So, I mean, Cam Ward's by far the best name on that list. He's better than any type of version Deshaun Watson's been anytime he stepped on the field recently. I think you have to get an offensive mind. And they're looking at Matt Nagy, too. It's like,
hell no.
See what happened when he was in Chicago? What the hell are you doing?
And he doesn't call plays in Kansas City. He never did. So why give him a shot? He's a bum.
100%. I agree with you. I'm happy we agree. I was saying Titans better have their eyes set on Mike McCarthy and Stefanski. And unless some other offensive guru name, I mean, Kubiak, too. If Kubiak is officially on the market, the Titans have to go, and a couple teams like the Titans have to go all in on trying to get Kubiak in there, seeing what he did with Darnold and that offense. I just think I can't even believe they're even looking at a defensive head coach is crazy to me. So yeah, I think the Titans, man, they're off to a hot start. I think they need to let Kubiak hit the market so they can make a full-on push.
I think Kubiak's probably going to do what Ben Johnson did. He's going to wait for the perfect job. I think he's going to choose the team that he really wants. So Titans, I don't know if he's looking at Cam Ward like, I can win with you.
You think he's looking at the Raiders with pick one?
Las
Vegas?
That's what it is. Because Sam Darnold is more Mendoza to me.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, pocket guys,
more. So I think Kubiak's going to wait for that perfect job. I just don't think he looks at Cam Ward like, that's the guy for me. So we'll see.
Well, he's gotten better he has got better as the season's kind of wrapped up here. And they don't have shit for pass. Their pass catchers are dog water, just absolute dog water. So they need to address that in a big way. Tony Pollard ain't the running back you want to go into the future with. He's all right, but and I like Spears a lot too. So, all right, yeah, interesting. I just want to see what your take was. That's another episode of Chalk Talk Social. We will be back with you on Friday with another fan coming up. We're going to do some new stuff with a fan this week too, so make sure you tune in. Until then, have a great week. We'll see you.